Oh, just when I went live, you froze for a second, but you're back. What's up, everybody?
Do you have the screenshot I sent you?
Yeah, I have it. We'll get to it in a second. James, what's up? Should be a short show. Only one answer to my question. Yeah. I guess if you're saying everyone should do jump ship, I guess I'd be biased and agree with that. But there'll be a little more.
What is the question?
Well, the title of the video is like what you should do for your programming. Should you write your own? Should you use CAP or should you use a third party like us?
If you're a gym owner, you probably got the same email that I got about CAP, which triggered me a little bit.
You want to just lead off with that?
I mean, that's what this is about.
Okay. Well, we won't go long because Augustus is worried about the Thursday night football game, so we don't have much time here. All right, let's.
If Tom Brady's not playing, I'm not watching.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, he doesn't do Thursday night announcing. So, okay, here's your email you got. I didn't even notice this email. I may have gotten it too. Save 20 hours a week with CrossFit affiliate programming. I'll read this real quick. Hi, Danny. Programming for your gym can be a daunting task, but we've made it simple with CrossFit affiliate programming, CAP. CAP was designed by top seminar staff and includes 2 programming tracks, daily class plans and video tips built for your affiliate. You can access this tool via the toolkit under the programming tab. Here's what current CAP users have to say. Okay, you get the point. Why was this so? Why did this jump out at you so badly?
Well, a couple reasons. We've had a few different gym owners who have. Wait, is CAP free? Is that
I believe it's free now. Yep, you used to have to pay for it, but it's free now.
So we've had a couple different gym owners reach out to us over the past, I don't know, since CAP became a thing, switching to jump ship, which is not free. Just saying how just like lame, I guess CAP is maybe. But this specific email that got me with the save 20 hours a week. I don't know any gym owner that's spending 20 hours a week on their affiliate program, or I don't even know what to say about that. I just think that's absolutely insane.
Play a game. What could you do for your programming and class plans that would take you 20 hours a week? Let's just say you do 5 solid days a week. Most gyms do. Some do 6.
4 hours a day of programming?
Hours a day of writing lesson plans and programming for your affiliate. Who? In what? Okay.
If you're spending 20 hours a week writing your affiliate program, go do something else in your affiliate. End of story.
If you do something else in your life.
Yeah. If you have that much time to spend trying to write a 1 hour-ish workout for your gym and you have 20 hours a week or 4 hours per, day of programming, stop. Like, there's a better use of your time. I don't know.
Yeah.
That just drove me crazy.
I mean, again, and even if you were the most thorough coach or head coach or owner of a gym and you wanted your classes to be perfect, in a short amount of time of doing this, you would have a system built that might take you 20 minutes a day. You could spend 20 solid minutes of putting your workouts out there for each day and writing a really thorough lesson plan with instruction and all that, maybe even 30. If you were really like super diligent about your details, and I know some owners who do spend that time or have their coaches do that, but even if you're doing 30 minutes a day to get this stuff dialed in, that's 2.5 hours a week, 3 hours a week.
The thing, so CAP especially is, again, I haven't even really looked at it any time recently, but from what I understand, it's still like a 1 piece a day kind of thing. So it's not even like they're trying to balance like a Metcon and a strength. Like, they're just putting 1 piece. Like, so that, I just feel like that's even easier than trying to kind of do what we do, which is there's, the Metcon strength portion and then also like a competitor extra. So trying to balance all of these movements across a week. CAP is just like back squat 3x5. Like, oh, that took you 4 hours to come up with that CAP. Like, come on. I don't know.
I think they actually have slightly evolved it. So I get your point, but it's definitely an oversimplification. There are days where they build to a heavy power clean and then do cleans and box jumps in a workout or something like that.
But who at CAP is taking 4 hours to do that?
Nobody. I mean, it's just, anyway. Yeah, nobody. It's just not. if it took you 20 hours, again, you should either be fired or you should find a different profession, because that's just not a good use of time. Like you said, think about all the other things you could do for your gym that would give you more bang for your buck than spending 20 hours programming. But
positive things that I haven't honestly heard like many good things about just CAP programming in general, just in the sense of, not that there's anything wrong with it, but again, just kind of like a little boring. It's hard for a coach sometimes to fill an hour just, with a 10-minute piece, things like that. But the things that I have heard that people generally like is like the lesson plans that they come up with. I guess they're really detailed and stuff, but like we've always talked about why there's a specific reason why we don't do that. And over, I think I've like worked in probably 20 different CrossFit gyms at this point, but whenever there is lesson plans, I think that it turns the coach into just like a robot. They just like read through their script. They don't even have to know or understand like what's going on or how people move, because they can just read the piece of paper or whatever and sort of deliver the information. That's kind of why I hate the idea of lesson plans, unless the coach is creating them like for themselves.
Right. And so like, I think the thing that we do for all our coaches across all the locations is we try, after the program's created for a class, we try to just put some notes in there. And this is the same notes that the other gyms that follow the program get as well. And the notes just deliver the stimulus for the coach and the athlete to get the point. What's the point of this Metcon? What's the point of this lift? And then based on understanding that, the coach then has to decide what they're going to essentially teach, coach, focus on in that couplet or triplet, and how they want to roll it into their lift and how they want to use their time. And we try to put like even time parameters on our class sessions in our program to give an idea of how much time you should be spending in each area to set up, coach, put stuff away, all that stuff. But anyway, I totally agree. Letting the coach have a little freedom while at the same time giving them enough information to having them create their own structure and lesson plan will force them to develop a lot faster than if they're just following a script. They'll take no creativity.
I think also from just gym owner perspective, if you have a bunch of coaches and you're just handing them this template that they can read off of, essentially, they're never like, it's going to take them longer to just become better coaches. Whereas if you spend a little bit, you have, 20 weeks that you're saving with CAPS. So you should use that 20 weeks to just like work with your staff and try to get them
20 hours.
20 hours. Yeah. Work with your staff to try to make them better coaches and not spend so much time, writing programming.
Yeah. Ben has a good comment here. In my opinion, programming is a reflection of the personality of your gym. I feel like outsourcing can, but doesn't have to, lead to a lack of identity in individual gyms. Thoughts? It's a good comment.
Yeah, I don't care if people want to buy a program or if they want to write it themselves. I think part of it is like some gym owners or coaches just like don't have a sense for writing a balanced program. And then they know that, so they go buy a program or they buy our program or whatever. And that's great. But then there's plenty of gym owners out there that want to take a crack at it or don't, so
do you think they should? Do you think like a head coach or a gym owner, whoever's really running the show, should be at least somewhat competent in understanding the basics of programming, even if they don't want to dedicate the time to it? Because it can be somewhat time consuming, not 20 hours a week, but it can be time consuming, and they want to pass that on. Do you think they should have a basic knowledge, or are you cool with owners just being sort of, I don't know, filling the roles with other people?
I feel like my answer would have changed over the last 10 years or so. About 10 years ago, I used to like hate when gyms would just buy a random program. But I feel like now there's so many different kind of class programs available out there that you can sort of, like he said, choose one that reflects kind of your gym's personality, right? So if, there's however many companies out there doing it, like, yeah, maybe save yourself the time. But what we always tell anybody who follows ours is, we put it out on the 15th of every month to be like, you have time to now go, look through each day if you want and like make any edits that you might need to better fit your community. And I don't know how many gyms like that follow our program, like are actually making edits. Like, you know what I mean? I have no idea. I know some gyms like will edit, like they don't like maybe like our holiday workouts or something. So they'll go plug something else in for that. And I think it's great. Like we have no problem when, they change it, like use it as a template. But yeah, I would say if gyms are using it as a template, I think it's great. Cause like, yeah.
Agreed.
But yeah.
James, in my experience, most gym owners don't have the ability to program effectively or safely for all skill levels. I feel like many would benefit from outsourcing, even if it's just saving owners time. And I think that, so like back in the day when I first opened my first affiliate into like 2009, 2010, gyms were a little more, and gym owners were more involved always and more competitive with each other. So another gym wouldn't buy or follow another CrossFit gym's program because they wanted to do it better a lot of times. So they were like, so-and-so's gym's programming does this and this gym's programming does this style. And that was like kind of part of the competitive spirit way back, early 2010s and before. People had their own taste and flair for what they wanted to use and do. But then when people realized they had to start getting better about running their gyms like businesses, one of the things they cut out was the time spent programming. And so people just stopped utilizing that skill or even developing that skill, and they just completely outsourced it immediately. And then so many companies like ours and others realize there's a need for that from people who have a ton of experience doing it. And so that's why we kind of fill that gap. But yeah, it seems like because there's so many people that can fill the gap now, people aren't developing their skills the way they once did. But I would say that people were probably better at programming, at least for the masses, like for their gym back in the day. And nowadays, yeah, I feel like the skill is not maybe what it once was because it doesn't need to be.
But maybe the programming skill is lacking. But I think a lot of coaches and gym owners have all bought they've all seen all of these like programs that are out there, right? Like there's Jump Ship, there's Mayhem, there's all these ones that, all these coaches and everybody in the CrossFit community has seen these programs. So maybe they're not physically writing the programming, but they can see kind of like the trends that they might like and what style of programming that they like anyway. So yep. I don't know if they need to be able to physically sit there and write workouts or whatever, but like it seems like everybody's bought like all of these programs at some point and seen what they look like to decide if they like them or not.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when I take calls with affiliate owners almost weekly, they're saying, oh, I checked out so-and-so's program, I checked out this program, and I'm checking out yours. Like, can you explain it to me? And I give them the kind of the rundown, and they're kind of balancing, what aspects of each program they like or value. Some coaches or some owners really like the detailed lesson plan. They want to give a like completely polished product to their coaches so they can just push that thought of having to train their coach right off the side. They're just like, I don't have to deal with this. I have to do the business, and I have my own little side hustle I'm doing. I don't have time to train my coaches. So if I have a very, very polished lesson plan program, they can just follow this like a book, and that's the product that'll be out there. If that's how you want to run your gym, that's okay. I mean, that's fine. That's not how we want development to happen.
So much though, because then you don't like one of the most important things in my opinion of coaching is being able to see like movement, right? And writing a lesson plan does not show you any movement and ability to correct anybody and get people to move better. You're just reading. I don't even know what you're reading on a lessons plan, to be honest.
So do you think like the focus of being dead on to the lesson plan overshadows the coach's ability to like also coach effectively?
I just think that if their job description is to read this script and get through this class with this lesson plan, and then they're doing what they're told, like, are you actually coaching any athletes at that point? Because a lesson plan and coaching are not the same thing at all.
No, they're not, but hopefully coaching time is built into the lesson plan. Hopefully. I
guess. Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, I'm sure there's time to coach in there, but I think it's just, you get a little maybe distracted by the lesson plan. And one of the very first gyms I coached at was CrossFit Boston. And we used to have to write out a lesson plan before every class. That was part of like our internship or whatever. Like, we'd have to like write it out, like the time that you'd spend on whatever, the progressions that you use, like things like that. And I do think that from when I was starting, that was very helpful. But now, I don't even know how many years, 10 years later, I like don't even look at the workout before I go coach. And I still can deliver, I think, a pretty good class because I've just been doing it for so long, not because I'm reading a script at all. I'm one of those terrible ones. Just look at the whiteboard for 5 minutes before class.
You're not terrible. You're experienced. You can look at it, digest it, and deliver it to people far beyond even their comprehension in a matter of seconds because of your experience. But that's not the common coach in most affiliates, right? Most affiliate coaches probably have, they're filling in, they're newer, they have a couple years experience if you're lucky. And so they can't do what you can do off, just off the seat of your pants there. So,
but so then what's the solution then? So there needs to be, some lesson planning kind of thing to help the newer coaches, but not enough that makes them just like robotic and reading from the script.
Well, I think we believe that our solution is what we do. I think we believe that the points and notes in with our program that give the idea for the stimulus, hey, you're only using RX weight if you can do this in 2 to 3 sets per round, or if you can't do this many pull-ups in a row, you need to whatever. We give those notes in there, and then we always encourage our coaches to look the day before at what they're coaching the next day and start to plan out what their points of performance are going to be. They want to focus on the how they want to structure things, how they want to set up their floor in their class, things like that. So, and we know, at least when we're in person, we know the coaches who are actually taking the time to look ahead of time and delivering an awesome class, because we can see from the second they start setting up the floor and organizing the athletes that they have a plan. Those that don't, you can see the chaos just ensue. You go to their class and people are all over the place. It doesn't start on time, doesn't finish on time. It's like, you can tell they didn't plan it at all. So I think, but those experiences are what lead to coaching development, as long as they're getting some kind of feedback, or they're even learning from their own mistakes if they're not getting feedback. But
the other thing that I think can be interesting about the lesson plan is what you said about like kind of like points of performance. So if again, I don't know what these specific lesson plans look like, but if they're delivering and telling you the exact progression that you're using for whatever movement, but maybe something that a coach was going to say, a different cue or something like that, is going to help somebody more. But again, you're just making all 5 of your coaches say the exact same thing for, like, I don't know, pick a movement, like handstand push-ups, whatever it is. Like, they're using the exact same progression, saying the exact same words every single time, and it's never going to click to somebody who might need to hear it a different way. So I think there's a lot of benefit there if you have, 5 staff that each have a different sort of way of coaching it or just explaining it, and then you have, like, it's going to click with that athlete, maybe not the way that Cap wants you to say it.
I think that's the strongest point you made so far, is that all the different perspectives. Yeah, no, I think that is genius, because all the different perspectives will eventually click. Like, some people are very like visual learners. They want to see a good demo. Some people need some like different style of cueing. Some people just need it explained a different way, and people learn in all different ways. And if you have the same, like, you kind of call it robotic script, and that's the way you're coaching things, and that's the cues and the progressions you have to use over and over again, you're absolutely right. Some athletes are just not going to get it, and they're going to get stuck. This comment though, Don Neary, I can't trust a coach if they can't do a movement properly, let alone just read off the WOD off the PDF or the board. Am I in trouble? Am I fired?
Don, you don't want to see Seth do any movements, but I agree with what he's saying to a point of, well, I guess there's 2 different things. You can be a really, really good coach and not be able to do the movements, but at the same time, if like you can't do the movements and you can't coach them, which I think is kind of what Don's saying. Yeah. Like, Seth can't do any of the movements like properly, but he can explain them really well. No, but you can explain them really well to the point where you talk too much. But you know what I'm saying? I would be very, like, as an athlete in the gym, I'd be very annoyed, like kind of like what Don's saying, if like the coach just like can't do anything, and then they're like, stumbling over their words, and they can't even like get a progression across, like whatever. Yeah. I've seen, like, even in sports, like Bill Belichick can't do shit, but like, so. But
he can coach, right?
He can coach.
And I think we've had, not to name names, or I can't even think of the specific person, but we've had people that that we like their personality, and so we were like, okay, you'll be a good coach. Like, we'd like to see you like try this, fit in, see how it goes. And we find that they can't move that well, and they like get so flustered and nervous. They try to explain things. We're like, oh shit! Like, everyone likes them, but they're kind of useless. But over time, if they're persistent, they can get better at it. That's part of the thing. You have to just know how to slowly break them in.
We also had a coach who. And we had a coach who, again, new coach, we're kind of working with them. I remember I was taking one of the classes, kind of shadowing, coaching completely wrong. Like, I forget what the movement was, but it was like a horrible progression. I think it was handstand walking. And I think it was something about like diving forward with your hands when you kick up, just like wrong. Like, it's just like, that's like that you can't do that, right? And the athlete that the coach was helping emailed later that day and said, I just want to tell you, like, this coach was amazing. I had the best class today. Like, sent this whole long email, like, complimenting the coach. I was in the class. Progression was totally wrong. Like just wrong. But I was like, all right, like, you know what I mean? Like, made somebody happy. Somebody reached out. Like, so there's like a fine line between that too, as a gym owner, like, you know, having these perfect coaches, but if they're like boring or robots or whatever, like, so, you know what I mean? So it's kind of tricky with that to be like, do I want the best, most knowledgeable coach who's like a boring boob, or do I want somebody who doesn't know the progressions, but like the members are freaking stoked to take their class and learn all the movements wrong? Like,
I realized halfway through your story who you were talking about, and then that particular coach has actually got a ton of positive feedback. Tons of it. In fact, yeah, we'll leave it at that. Yeah. And had a long way to go in learning actual like CrossFit progressions and things like that. Yeah. So kind of funny how that works.
So where's the line though, right? Like, you want the person with the personality who doesn't know shit, or do you want the super knowledgeable person that connects with nobody and like,
I want the personality, no question. And I'm going to spend my time slowly teaching them more things that they can 100%. Pass on. Yeah, there's no question. It's not even a thought in my head. Don followed up here. I barely started trusting Seth's squats this past year. They got a little better with all the thrusters. Yeah, dicey for sure, but slightly better for the most part. James says, I actually feel like it's more common that coaches can't explain the stimulus properly. And maybe that comes from not being able to do certain movements or weights. That is actually a good point as well, is if, not that I have any competitive experience, but coaching a lot of competitive athletes and then coaching a lot of affiliate athletes, for me, I know exactly what my like median affiliate member should be able to do in a given workout. So it's very easy for me to say, hey, this is written as this. If you can't do X, Y, or Z, these are how you'd scale it. First, you scale the weight. If that's not good enough, you can change the movement, or you can change the rep. Like, you have a whole progression of how you're going to scale or modify things for people. You can explain it out, and you know what you expect in terms of times and time caps. But that just comes with time and experience. If you have a newer coach, even, or maybe even a seasoned coach, but they just don't, I don't know. Yeah. If they don't know the stimulus, it can completely screw up a really well-written WOD if they don't know how to scale your members properly or give them good advice, for sure. The same workout can be executed flawlessly and be amazing, and can be executed like shit because the coach can't explain it right and ruin the whole day. So that's part of the importance of coaching, not just movement. Let's see what else we got. It's a lot of the main comments. Okay, so I guess we'll start to circle back around and wrap this up. So basically, your three main choices, again, if you're going to use a program in your affiliate, you can write your own. You can use CAP because it comes with your affiliation. And there's mixed. Some people love CAP, honestly, though, because they actually really love the deep dive coaching, the extra mobility time, the like extended warm up. Like, I know coaches who easily can fill the first 40 minutes of your class and then give you your 10-minute workout and then give you your 5-minute cool down, send you out the door. I know coaches that do that, and that may work great and it might be a good class, but it also may not be that member's style. That member might just want to move more in terms of like a few more reps in the workout, more opportunity to lift, things like that. So you have CAP as an option, and then you have your third party, which is probably 100 different affiliate programming options out there these days. And you can kind of find the one you want. But I always say, it's funny, like I said, I take some calls with gym owners, and one of the things that pops out to me is so many times I've had people be like, oh, I really love jump ship. I really want to join up. Let me tell you like what I don't like and what I'm looking for in my program. And they'll say like, my demographic just doesn't do muscle ups. It's all these people. They won't do muscle ups. Oh no, we really don't snatch. We don't snatch. Oh no, yeah. We only like to stay in these time domains. Oh, we only like to, they'll give me all these parameters and be like, oh, I love jump ship though. And I'll be like, you just literally described the opposite of jump ship, and you love jump ship and you want to do jump ship class program. I'm like, make sure, I'm like, full disclosure, this is what we do. You're not going to escape muscle ups. You're not going to escape unless you take them out yourself. It's just funny to hear the people who want to get behind you and your brand and like support you, but then when they are looking for something specific, it's just not what they're looking for. So in that case, I'm like, hey, maybe write your own. Like maybe try experimenting with writing your own, or find a coach who wants to take it on, give them feedback, and see if you can develop it at your own gym. If you have a very clear path of what you want your members to do, for better or for worse, either you do it or find someone who can do it for you with your vision. But yeah, because you get what you get otherwise.
Fair.
Any last thoughts? I mean, we had a very concise show today, which is what we wanted, but anything else?
Yeah, don't spend 20 hours a week writing programming at your gym. That's about it.
Or lesson plans or anything. Like, don't do it.
Yeah, don't. That should not be. That's a waste of time.
You think that was a typo? Do you think it was 20 hours a month, or like 2 hours a week? Yeah, I think it was. Is it possible that they have a lot of typos? Like even in their workout of the days when they come out, they have typos all the time.
This caption is just like clickbait, but then when you really think about it, it's just stupid. Like they got me to click and it made me mad. But like normally I just delete those emails and I was like, what the heck is this? So it worked.
Yeah, but they delivered it to you, and now we're kind of beating them up for it a little bit. Like what the hell are you doing? And if you ever told me at a level 2 seminar that this is how you
hours a week on programming, could you imagine?
I don't know. I don't know what I would program with that much time.
Yeah. Back squat, 3x5.
I could write the most intricate program and it would not take 20 hours. James, well, I just read the caption. It is clickbait. It's actually crazy. Yeah, a little clickbaity. It's all right. Okay. Yeah, we can wrap up there. Just wanted to connect with you guys again. I know we've been a little less frequent. Danny and I will keep trying to do a weekly show, and then I'm also going to circle back around and start doing the old throwback content again. Opens not that far out, so we're going to go talk about some of the better days and past CrossFit Games experiences way back. So you'll start seeing some more throwback videos from me and some other guests maybe. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. Until next time. Bye-bye.